What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. We're going to do an Attack on Titan Season 4, final season, series finale prediction, where I think the direction of majority of the main characters is going to go, how the story is going to end. I know we still have, what are we on? I think we're 4 in. So we have another like 7, 8 episodes, and then I've been told that this series is going to wrap up with a movie. Now I'm curious, how the movie does. Like, some anime movies to me are always hit or miss, but Attack on Titan has never done me wrong, so if they're going to go 12 and then finish with a movie, I'm all here for it. I've just been also told there's so much content that it cannot be completed in these 12 episodes or 8 or so that we have left, so I'm all here for it. Can't wait to see how that goes. I have notes off here to the side on my second monitor, so if you see me glancing over here, I'm just trying to remember I'm not missing any points that I wanted to bring up or characters I wanted to cover. But yeah, Season 4, I mean, we're sitting here saying, like, oh, it's not that close, like, why have this video now? Like, it's getting close. Like, we go another month, 2 months, like, shit's just done. It's a wrap. It's over. So I want to do a prediction, a series finale prediction, where I think certain characters' arcs will go, if they'll live, how it's going to go, what the world is going to look like, are there going to be Titan, no Titan, just a bunch of different things. So I think how I'm going to start this out is kind of start it out with the lower characters, build it up to Eren being the final one, of course. We're going to go through I'm not going to go through every minor side character. I'm not going to go through Sasha's parents and, that type of things, or Annie's dad or anything wild like that. Just keeping it to like the main core, or at least what's been part of the main core of the final season, and then as well just where the direction that we're the future of Eldians, the future of Titans, the future of the world, just all that in general. So let's just go ahead and get it started. I have no idea if this is going to be a 5-minute video, a 5-hour video. We're just here to hopefully enjoy. These are the type of videos I like. This is why I really got into reacting in the first place. Was just open theory crafting and world building and things like that, but a lot of animes don't give you that. It's no knock against certain animes. I don't want to name a bunch because they might be people's favorites, but I feel like you don't get that a lot. And I feel like since Game of Thrones ended, Attack on Titan kind of picked up that mantle of just like, what does this mean? How? What is that? There's just so much unknown. The Hunter x Hunter manga had that sprinkled in there a little bit as well, but who knows if that's ever going to come back. So I feel like Attack on Titan has really been the only anime to me that I've watched, sprinkle in the My Heroes, the Demon, the Jujutsu, like all that. None of those hit, like, mentally stimulate like this does. So let's go ahead and get into it. We'll see how long it takes. Everybody will see this on Friday. So I kind of put at the lowest bottom of the rung, like Magath and like Floch type characters in those. I could see Floch survive. I mean, not Floch, excuse me. I could see Magath surviving, getting back, leading, and kind of being maybe a front runner for like however this ends. Magath kind of deciding like, we don't need to go over there, relax on the Eldians, but how is he going to be able to speak when the atrocities that Eren essentially committed in front of the entire world? How can Magath go back and say, maybe we accomplished or we didn't? Either way, though, I see him kind of being that bridge, because we've seen it. Like, the more we kind of see him, the more like he softens on the Eldians and things like that. Like, he shows care for like Gabi and Falco and Peak, and his whole back and forth with Willie and the Tybers. I'm not gonna say not that he has a sauce, but like he's just a regular human. Like, he doesn't see difference. Like, no, yeah, they are different, but I see him being like a real ambassador, as far as like he'll make it to the end, and if there's any type of things that need to be done between Eldians and Titans and no more of this, I see him being like a pillar for that. Floch as well. I see, I really have come to enjoy Floch's character a lot, because, like, he doesn't bullshit, and even when he was still a coward, he still spoke up about, like, things just, like, black and white. I'm pretty sure he was the one that when Erwin was leading them in the charge, he's like, well, if we're going to die anyway, we don't really need to follow you. You know, why do we need to listen? Those type of things. He survives, brings Erwin back, and then he was like, you really don't see this a lot in enemies. Like, main characters, like the main group, will like do things like for themselves or for the main cast, but nobody checks them on like, hey, you know what you did had like content. Like, nobody ever really checks them. And so for Floch to come in at the end of that like Erwin hero episode, when Historia is getting crowned and pretty much hitting like, he's slapping Mikasa, he's slapping Armin, he's slapping Eren. Like, you guys are making decisions only based on like decisions that you want to make, but like, what about the rest of us and like humanity? And then to see how he's just like gone completely from that to damn near leading the Jaegerist, or whatever you want to call it. Like, his character has taken a complete 180. I think he survives just for the simple fact of like, he's just, I feel like that's his curse. Like, he's just doomed to survive, coward and all, to tell the story, to make sure, like he said, make sure you tell future scouts what they're really getting into. I feel like that, even though he's done like some, depending on what side you're on, shitty or non-shitty things, I think he makes it to the end, and I could see him, you know, being a driving force for future, if there's even future scouts or anything like that. We'll see. Next group, I'm gonna kind of go by like importance. The Connie, the Jean, whatever you want to pronounce his name as, Levi, Hange, kind of clump them all into one. I think Hange makes it to the end because I feel like she's been left out so much that, like, if she was to go, I just feel like I see her being more of like a leader, political-ish figure, kind of like how she's doing right now, you know. But the people were already going against her, like, Hange, you know, you said you'd speak for us, why aren't you letting us know what's going on? You know, you can already see her, like, battling that, I think, last part 1 of Season 4. Connie and Jean, I could see both dying, but I could also see both living. I don't see, like, I could see Connie or Jean making a sacrifice if it, you know, seems like it'll help Eren or anything like that, but I feel like we lost Sasha, so maybe like the whole, that's the thing, is like, I don't know like where we're going as far as tone-wise. Everybody I have on this list could die. 100% could die, because Attack on Titan could take that turn, but Attack on Titan has also been taking like different turns where some characters just keep seeming to like make it by without dying. Yeah, Connie, Jean, Levi, Hange, I kind of clumped them all, you know, they're like the original, like Season 1s. I could see Connie and Jean sacrificing themselves if it is for the betterment of, you know, the Eldians or the island or anything like that, but I also just see them being survivors. You know, they make it to the end, they have the stories to tell, all that. Hange goes on and rules. I don't see Levi being somebody that wants to be in like a political fashion or do anything like an Eren or a Hange or a Pixis or anything like that. But he's also one of those people that, like, Levi is very much like Kenny in a sense of like, this is what you do and this is what you've just been fighting ever since you were little, and he's been little, so he's just like had to be better. And then, you know, the scout, that's given him a purpose. Like, he is the main Titan killer in the entire story as a human. What is his purpose kind of when that's over? When there's no more Titans to kill and no more battling, I'd be curious, like, Levi's mental state. You know, how does he... Because, like Kenny said, and this is for everybody in the entire story, this is for everybody in life. Like, I remember that, and I'll probably always remember that, Kenny saying, everybody's a slave to something. Whether it's like family, relationships, money, power, killing, ruling, whatever it may be. And, you know, Levi doesn't come off as like this ruthless killer, kind of like, you know, Kenny, you know, nicknamed Kenny the Ripper and like all that type of shit, but that's just what he's been doing, and he's been so good at it. I can't see him just living a normal life. Like, I would be curious kind of what his character, if he survives to the end, what he gets into. Unfortunately, and this is kind of skipping ahead because I have Zeke way down, like, as some of the last characters to discuss, I could see Levi dying, but not before he unfortunately is going to kill my favorite character. Levi is going to kill Zeke before this story ends. I just feel like there's no way that like he made the promise to Erwin, you know, that he would like go die. I'll kill the Beast Titan. He didn't in that instance because I mean, you know, he's thinking of all the possible outcomes. Yeah, I could kill him, but we could feed him to someone. We can get answers. We can get X, Y, and Z. And then all the other times he's had to like fake kill him. The one time he fake kills him. The other time he had him bandaged up, all tied up, could have killed him, decided not to, almost got himself killed. I just think if Levi goes out with a bang, that's why I could see him dying, just because I don't see a life for him after it's over. Not saying he can't live a peaceful life and put down the sword and put down the violence and you don't have to hurt anymore type things. But since that's just what his life has been so much, I could see him dying, but before he dies, he's killing Zeke. Unfortunately, as much as that hurts my heart, he's going to kill Zeke before this story ends. I don't suspect Connie and Jean to die unless they're just going on some suicide mission so that like Armin or Eren can do something, but I see them living. Hange's going to go on and represent or lead and do something like that. But if that group of the Connie, Jean, Levi, and Hange, unless Connie and Jean just die in some grotesque rumble or, you know, plan like that, of those four, Levi would probably be on my highest kill list because I would see him killing Zeke, and if he accomplishes that, I could see, you know, that being all he needs to accomplish, and then that could be what. But how he would die is the question, because we really have he's never gotten bested in like anything at all. The only time he got bested was someone pulled a suicide bomb on his ass. So I don't know if he loses in combat, if he just gets caught in the crossfires and shrapnel of war, because I don't see him going one-on-one with a Titan. Like, I would be curious, like, I would love to see, which we're not going to get, Levi versus Eren. Like, Eren in his Titan form. That's what I would really like to see, and them actually going for it. Not just, like, posturing about it, but I'd love to see that kind of, like, back and forth in that battle, because, like, I don't enjoy Levi as a character, and you guys ask why, or you think it's wild because he's one of, like, the most beloved characters, and, like, fan votes and polls and all those things. I just don't enjoy characters that like never seem to struggle, or it's like always easy. And I know I'm just speaking like what we see him in. I know his backstory and how he was brought up and all that's difficult. I'm saying like when we always see him, like he just always wins, like always, flat out, doesn't matter. That's why, you know, I'm not like a I prefer Vegeta over Goku and, you know, all those type of things. And that goes for just like a lot of anime. So I would love to see like Eren and Levi like have to go at it, but I don't think we're gonna get that. So we'll move on. Historia, I'm curious if we actually even see her, because I don't know what purpose she serves. She's pregnant, and even if I don't know how much time skipped to when they introduced that she was pregnant. I can't 100% remember. You know, maybe it's been 9 months, but even if she spit out a kid. The kid serves no... I mean, it's a kid. The kid can't be older than 1, 2 years old max if we've had that much time skip. Like, it's a toddler. Even if we give it an ability or give it one of the... it's just not a thing or an impact. She still leads and rules, but I don't see her having an impact or making any decisions or doing anything that's going to really impact the story. Especially since we just haven't caught up with her. Now, this arc... I don't know kind of where we're going, but when this calms down, this, you know, them showing up in Shiganshina and all that, will we peel back and look at the world powers and see, like, what they're going to do and what, like, Historia and the other Eldians decide to do? I'm not sure. We don't know who fathered her kids, but I would not be surprised if Eren, if she's pregnant by Eren. They said, you know, I think she fell in love with, they said, like, she fell in love with, like, a stable boy or some shit like that. I just think it's easy to just, say she's pregnant by Eren. Like, I don't know how that goes over with, like, people that, like, ship Eren and Mikasa, or how people feel about that, like, her just being used to pump out kids, because there's no connection between Eren and Historia, at least to my knowledge, as far as, like, romantically or them actually being in love or anything like that. He did care for her well-being at one point. That's why he didn't want to speak on, you know, her having royal blood and what they might do to her. They might, you know, exploit her, turn her into a Titan, make her a baby factory, which she ends up becoming a baby factory. But it just seems like the ultimate one. We haven't seen... Well, no, because I always get this. I always, like, make this mistake of thinking, like... Eren is important bloodline lineage-wise when he's not. It's just the simple fact that he just has the founding Titan ability. He serves no purpose to, like, the royal blood. I always get it confused because I know, like, his dad had the wife that was, and I always get that confused, but I wouldn't put it past, like, Eren and Historia having a baby, but then I'm also trying to think, well, what purpose would it serve if it actually was Eren that got her pregnant? Because now that I think about it, like, what's the point? It makes no difference if she's pregnant by Eren, or pregnant by Jean, or pregnant by Connie. None of it matters as far as, like, what it will become mixed with her royal blood. It's her that needs to have the kids. Whoever she's pregnant by, it doesn't matter. So maybe she's not pregnant by Eren. Unless... But no, because they could just do that with a regular kid. Maybe she's not, maybe she is. Because there's no purpose in Eren getting her pregnant. Unless he just plans to, like, transfer all the Titans' abilities into her kid. I don't know, we'll have to revisit that. But again, Historia's purpose, I don't see anything for it. I don't think she's going to die, or she's not going to be on the battlefield, so... Gabbie and Colt... Oh, excuse me, not Colt. Colt's dead. Gabbie and Falco. At this point, Falco's going to make it to the end of the story. I just think we can ship that. And I think it's about 90% Gabbie makes it to the end of the story as well. I'm not a Gabbie fan. You know, people say, you know, she's misunderstood, she's just a kid, she's blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, are we using that as an excuse? Because there's been other kids that were traumatized just like her on both ends of, like, the war. And we don't see them doing any wild shit like she's doing. But then it's like, well, she's a trained soldier. But then you don't see Falco acting like that. Or it's just, it's a back and forth. Gabbie's decisions have led to a lot of things, and I was thinking about this last night on Gabbie. A lot of it is like cause and effect, and if you believe in cause and effect, or you believe in choice, or you believe in everything is predestined, or whatever you may have, there's a great scene in I think it's the Matrix 2, where Morpheus is talking to the Merovingian, and Morpheus is, if you know the Matrix movies, you know, Morpheus is a very big believer in choice. Like, you're taking the red or the blue pill. Like everything is choice. Like, you have a choice. And then the Merovingian believes that choice is an illusion. It's those that have power are the ones making the choices, and you really don't have any power to make any choices. It's already been pre-written out for you. But he believes in cause and effect. I believe in both. I think you make choice, and your choice has a cause in one direction and an effect in one direction. Like, I can smash my keyboard right now. The effect of it, like, like, if you're raging in a video game, you could touchdown spike your controller. It might make you feel better, but now the cause of that is, the effect is, like, now I have no controller. Or you can just sit on it and not. So, like, sitting there with, like, the Gabbie thing, what triggered her was Eren just murdering her hometown, murdering her friends. Like, that can't be forgiven. So of Eren, like, Eren is the reason Sasha dies. He chooses to do what he did. Same thing, I think Connie put that on him, like, you're the reason Sasha died, or got killed. Him going off pulled them in to get him out of there, which got Sasha killed. If he never did that, they never had to come over, Sasha didn't die. That was his choice that led to a cause and an effect. His choice, which you could put on whoever you want, sparked that rage in Gabbie. Mind you, though, Falco could have done the same thing and he didn't. Two different mindsets, two different people. So I don't want to use the kid soldier excuse when Falco is also like the kid soldier, so it's kind of hard to weigh both. I mean, yeah, they're two different people, as we've seen. He's been so... I mean, he's been very, like, Armin and trying to see the different story, and it doesn't have to be that way. Give them a second chance, you know, give them a chance to... And she's just been bullheaded, like, go, 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 go. Eren causing all those things caused Gabi to want to seek revenge, seek vengeance. She goes on the airship. Falco, knowing that Falco cares for you, he's expressed that, or tried to express that. I don't know if she picked up on it. Falco chooses to save her. Now people say, well, Falco didn't have to do that. Well, Gabi making that choice led Falco to make that choice. If she doesn't try to get on that airship, he doesn't follow behind her. That was a cause and an effect. The cause of her trying to get on this affected Falco going with her. She gets up there, kills Sasha, they get captured. All this is an effect off of a choice that she made. Goes down the rabbit hole. Falco ingesting the wine, sprouting, which is more effective, her inadvertently getting Colt killed. Because if she doesn't get on that airship, Falco doesn't go with her, which doesn't get them captured, which doesn't get Falco ingesting any of that wine, which when they come back over to lodge their assault, Colt isn't hunting down looking for his brother, to when he finds his brother, when Zeke roars, turns into a Titan and dies. If we just scale all that back and peel it, if she never gets on that ship, Gabi and Falco probably never go over there at all. And then the launch is, the attack is still launched. Maybe Colt just dies in the attack, sure, but if we're connecting the dots, she kind of inadvertently killed that man Colt. If we're connecting the dots, if we speak on it, it's a lot to connect, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's a cause and effect. Every character in this story has a cause and effect. I mean, in life, it's just cause and effect. Like that just is what it is. Falco is now the Jaw Titan. Saw Galliard go out. I liked Galliard's character, but man, it's just like, I guess it's because he went up against Eren so many times. We just kept seeing him getting disrespected so many times. But I'm curious why the design was different between Ymir and Galliard's. I'm curious what Falco's... I wonder if Falco transforms. Because he doesn't have any training or like any... I mean, as far as like transforming. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I think both of them survive to the end of the story. I think they're really going to use Gabi as like a driving force of like what was and like what can be as far as like mindset and change and advocating for like they're not devils, they're normal people. I think she stays alive and takes that forward. But again, as everybody on this list, I wouldn't be surprised if she dies. I don't think Falco dies unless there's some plan that Eren comes up with as far as no more Titans, we're putting it all in one, and Falco has to relinquish that, but I really highly doubt it. Annie, up next. I want to say she has a part to play, but like how big is that part? And what's going to be wild is she's essentially just living, I'm not going to say technology-wise, because I don't know what the technology they had on Marley when she was a kid before she came over, but she is literally living in a brand new time. Like, shit has hit the fan since she's been... I mean, it's been... What? How long has it been? 4 years? 5 years since she's been frozen up? No, they started there to... I don't know. It's been a long time. But since then, her hometown has been destroyed. One of her friends is dead. The war has escalated beyond, like, when she just comes out, like, I'm so curious, like, her mindset of, like, when she finds out about Berthold, does that make her lean more towards wanting to stop Eren? And when she finds out, like, what Zeke has done and all that? Or she finds out Berthold, does she just kind of want to, does she just not want anymore? We really, I mean, it's so difficult to pinpoint Annie. And then all that time that, like, Armin spent talking to her, does she actually hear any of that? Or know any of that? Or know anything like what's really going on? I really have no idea if that's going to make a difference in like anything that she says or does. But at the end of the day, she's still a Titan shifter and can still fuck things up. And I think she's beaten Eren one-on-one before. Now, he has really leveled up since then. But it's just curious, like, does she, when she comes out, does she not want any part? Does she just want to get back to her father? It's going to be hard to see because you could say her mindset is kind of like, it could be like Reiner's, where, like, it's going to be difficult to make a decision, but what side, I mean, she's never faltered and been on, like, the side of wanting to help. We did see when, who was it, Marco or whatever they had tied up, and she was like, you know, why do we have to do this to Marco? We saw her have a little bit of care, but I don't know if Armin's words transferred to her, but she's still a Titan shifter. She's still powerful. When she busts up out of there, I'm like, it's going to be wild to me, like, if we just see her just busting out running. Now, I don't know how she gets out. Does it have to be broken? Is there a time delay on it? Like, is it set to expire in 5 years? Again, I don't know. She's just a popsicle hanging out. Again, like everybody on the list, I could see her dying. But it's going to be curious of, like, what she sides with, because everything she knows might have been flipped or changed, or... So when she comes out and she sees all this shit go down, she's still going to be semi-captive, but that's going to be such a wild card to see with Annie. And because we didn't get much of her... It'd be different if, like, we got the Reiner backstory, like everything we know about Reiner, and then he goes into the ice hibernation or crystal. Annie, we didn't get much as far as like a character, so I don't know what she'll really want. I'm curious if she felt for Bertholdt, how Bertholdt felt about her when she finds out about that. That'll be interesting to see. Armin and Mikasa, I see them both making it to the end of the stories for the simple fact of, like, you already faked out the Armin death, so, like, when you kind of fake things out a couple times, they don't hit as hard if you go back and redo them again. Mikasa is going to be very interesting because she's going to have to kind of make a choice here, and I'm curious of, like, will she always protect Eren, and then when she does protect him again, or maybe in, like, the most crucial climax moment of the story, will she have a mental realization that, like, I made that choice? Or will there be an opportunity to save him or kill him? And then she makes the choice, and then that's the epiphany of, like, wow, I guess I never was bound by that. I just truly cared for him, and I had to care for him enough to actually put his ass down and kill him. But then, I mean, we're going to talk about this in a minute. I don't even know if he is, if he dead. That's just a wild thing. Again, Armin is on a timetable, though. Granted, you know, he's not going to live as long as the others, because when his Titan thing runs out, like, that's it. But again, I'm so curious of, like, if, I don't know what the coordinate in Ymir and Royal Blood and all that is capable of, but, like, is that whole 8-year thing going to be extended, taken away, not even longer? Are we just getting rid of Titan? So, like, what that means for Armin and, like, the other shifters, future shifters, I don't know. When we'll get to that kind of at the end. But Mikasa has been on this path of, like, what are my, like, are my decisions mine? Are my thoughts mine? So if there comes an opportunity to help Eren or save Eren, or she has to harm Eren or stop Eren, what will she decide? Will she help him and then still think, well, I did that because I'm supposed to? Will she hurt him and be like, it really was me making those decisions all back then? That's going to be very interesting. Armin, again, we've only seen him bust out his colossal thing once. I'm curious if we're going to actually see him use it in any way, shape, or form in the remaining episodes that we have. Just because we know how much he seems to hate doing that. We'll see. Reiner, again, I mean, I don't see Gabi getting a Titan. I think, you know, he wanted to protect her. Falco's wanted to protect her from that. I don't see her getting a Titan. So I'm curious what happens to Reiner. I don't think he dies without it just being from his time limit running out, because, like, he's just been through so much, and I still think he has a part to play as far as Maybe he defects and switches over to our side, but his family and stuff is still over there, so that's just going to be tough. And he wants this to end. He doesn't want to do this. Like, he does not want to do this, but he wants it to end. And I don't see... Sadly, he's not going to get to rest until it's over, in my opinion. He's going to have to just keep fighting it and keep going and keep trying to protect. You know, he's still got Peak and Magath and Gabi and Falco to, you know, look after, lead, you know, with no more Zeke, like, they are looking to him on that side. Because Falco, I don't know what purpose he's going to hold at this crucial point in the story, even though he has a Titan, like, he doesn't know what he's doing, or have the conditioning or anything for that, so it's really up to just Peak and Reiner, and then whatever, like, actual military strength they can come up with. I mean, he's been through so much. We've already seen his mental state. I mean, the part 1 of Season 4 was a lot of that. Man, damn near, you know, suicided himself. I feel like we've seen him just escape death so many times between Season 3, Levi almost cutting his head off, and then him almost shotgunning himself, and then almost having Falco take his ass out, and thinking that he got killed at the bottom of the apartments, and it's just so much that I think he'll be there till the end, until his, like, term runs out. I'm curious what happens with his Titan, just because we don't know the directions of Titans after this, so... Okay, coming down to probably the last big 3. Ymir, even though I don't have her as the most, like, as important on the list, like, the actual Ymir, I think her story is going to have the biggest impact and biggest part to play. We don't even know if the things we know about her are true. You know, we've heard stories about, you know, however many years ago, was it 2,000 years or whatever they said in the story when, who is it? Zeke's grandfather was telling him the story. No, Zeke's father. No, excuse me, not Zeke's father. What the hell is his dad's name? I don't remember Eren's dad's name, but essentially, Zeke's grandfather telling his son the story of, you know, 2,000 years ago, Ymir made a deal with... Is that even true? Is any of that true? Clearly, they are Titans, so something happened from her, but I really, really want 1 or 2 episodes dedicated to, like, just her backstory and what the hell happened. Are we saying all this happened to her while she was a kid? Like, is that why she's in the form that she's in? Like, that's when it happened to her, that's when she died? I need to know what the hell happened, how this happened, how Titans, like, truly came about. Are we going to see that? I would hope so. And then why she feels, this boundness to... Because it's not like a vow. Kind of how, like, the king put on anybody that it gets the founding to, you know, protect, and, you know, not war. But what is it that she feels like she must serve? People of royal blood. I loved that twist at the end of that episode, but the one line that I don't think it's going to work out for Zeke, unfortunately, when he said she's a slave to serve those of royal blood, deep in my mind I was like, shit, she's going to be freed of that burden, and I think that's going to be Zeke's downfall. Because anytime we've talked about, like, being caged up, being a slave, having to follow order, you know, everybody seems to, like, come up out of that in this. So as soon as he said she's a slave, I was like, damn. I think when it comes push to shove, she's going to break free of that burden and side with Eren. Because, like, you know, so we thought we got, like, triple backstabbed there. Zeke wanted Eren to help, so we thought they were going... But then Eren flips it, like, no, I would never go along with that plan. And then Zeke flips it again. I think it's going to be I think it's going to flip-flop, snip-snap again. To where Ymir is going to realize, or Eren's going to do something, or say something, or they're going to go through something to where she realizes that she doesn't have to be and breaks free of that. And she makes a decision to not follow the royal blood and make a decision of herself and side with Eren. And I think that's going to be Zeke's downfall, unfortunately. But I do like that we did see Zeke, because I was going to be very upset if Zeke just fell for the, oh, Eren, how could you? You didn't want to go along with this plan? And he just, like, dies, you know, turns into dust, falls off the side, and, you know, whatever. So to see him prepare for that, I thought it was great imagery and symbolization in last episode. I don't think I included in the reaction, but I had it in a full length, where he tosses Eren the ball and Eren doesn't catch it. I think that's all we needed to know as far as like, he's not along with the plan. But I want a lot of Ymir background. I want to know what's the deal? We keep hearing like different sides of it. What actually happened to you? How the hell did that happen? And then just give me the story from there. Why she feels like she's indebted, like, and must serve. And like, I need a more explanation on what, I know some people like highlighted a little bit, but you know, she does all the, does she just repair royal members? Or I don't know what it is she actually does. And maybe we'll get an explanation on that so you guys don't have to spoil it, but is anytime a Titan shifter is damaged, she repairs them? Not when they're just shifting up and down, right? Or does she? Because that seems like a lot of fucking work. And like, it's years in there that she's just like patting these people back together. Or is it only when Titan shifters get hurt? I have no idea. So like they do it, like we see them do it in an instant, but then she's the one actually patching. I don't even get, because I'm trying to think like, and then how do you delay it? But then like, because it's a wild concept to think of, like when they're injured, because I'm trying to think like when Eren didn't have his leg in the beginning of season 4, and he chose to not sprout that leg back, but he could have done it at any time. Is she just sitting there waiting to when he's ready, and then she starts working on it? Or does she work on it and it's ready to go whenever he deems it? I don't know. That's a lot of like wild confusingness, and I don't even really know what to make of like what she does. And that is that of every type. I don't know. It seems like a shit way to live, or whatever. If she's even living and she's stuck in this like I don't know. I don't want to go too deep into her because we'll be here for an hour and we're already here for 36, 37 minutes. 2 characters left and then 2 more like big talking points. Zeke, my favorite character, of course. Unfortunately, I think a tragic death is upon him. I think Levi is going to kill him. But I'm curious, kind of, I feel like Zeke still has like parts to play, whether that's a rumbling. I don't think his euthanization plan is going to work. Euthanization. Clearly it's not going to, because Eren didn't want to go along with it. The main character didn't want it. It's not going to happen. But just off of last episode, that jump off point of them touching, what does that mean? Like, what's happening in that instant? What is Zeke wanting to happen in that moment of them touching? Because he says he has, like, I don't know if that was that foreshadowing, or did that mean he says he's obtained the founding power. What does that mean? He has it, he has royal blood, and he has the founding, and he's not bound by the vow? So is he just literally like Ultra Instinct out of his mind, Super Saiyan 6, just he has reached the peak? I'm not sure. I'm curious to see though, like with this, I'm just glad that he got to fight back before Levi. But the thing is, Levi's not going to show up, like, but I don't know, like, are we going to be spending time in the path? But even there, like, years happen, but it happens in an instant in the real world. Levi's not showing up to fuck shit up anytime soon. My man is in bad shape. He might have lost an entire hand, maybe even an arm, depending on the damage. He definitely lost multiple fingers. And that explosion might have slowed him down from being, like, the Levi he was. Like, he still might be able to fuck shit up, but maybe not be, like, at that level. It's gonna be a sad day, but I already know Levi's going to slaughter Zeke. I just hope they don't, just hope they make it quick and put him down. But until then, because Levi's got to recover a little bit, this is all happening like within the same day that explosion went off. So Zeke's pretty much in control right now. I'm curious what happens. Like, does he execute the rumble? Does Eren want the rumble? What does he do with this? Because does he maybe he makes it so none of the Eldians can have children, but then Eren gets it and flips it back, and they snip snap again. I don't know. I don't know what Zeke is going to do, because he has it. At least I think he has pretty much everything there is to achieve as far as like a Titan and the powers. So what's stopping him from just doing it? And why does he still even... He said Eren was the key. I am so curious on what's going to happen with Zeke's character, but as far as like the ending and like future predictions of his character, Levi's going to kill him. Levi's going to kill him. The man has just been trying so damn hard. I mean, he had a terrible childhood, and the pressure that was thrusted upon him and just absolutely ridiculous. And he has 100% grounds, even if Eren had a complete different upbringing with Grisha, and even Mikasa had a different, upbringing with Grisha. It does not excuse him from like what happened to Zeke. And that's even in the real world, like right now. Like if you're married once and you have a kid and you just completely shit on that kid over and over and traumatize and over, just because you leave said kid, go have another marriage, and like you're father of the year, like you are the perfect father. This still happened. We have two different experiences here. One child has a different experience and one has another. Eren can love Grisha and doesn't agree with everything, but like that shit happened. And that's not... Zeke's not going to change from that. No matter the picture you paint of Grisha, he has a different one, and it happened, and it's not going to change, never going to change. So you can't fault him for what he thinks should happen. Maybe you don't agree with the, the sterilization, but I haven't seen anybody present anything different. Unless you just want to flatten the world and Eldians just rule forever. But I don't think Zeke wants that bloodshed or horror either. And it's not the worst thing. It's not like he's just sentencing all of them to death right there. There just won't be any more. So do I think it's the best plan? Probably not, but I haven't seen anybody present anything different. And at least it's not going to inflict pain on anybody. You guys just won't be able to have... You guys can still live and fulfill great, normal lives. There just won't be continuation after this current iteration of the group. Not the best. Haven't seen anybody present anything different. So Zeke's my favorite character. I'm curious if he's going to execute the Rumble. I feel like we got the Roar, and there was so much talk about it and so much build up with the wine. I feel like the Rumble is going to happen. I feel like they're not holding back. Clearly, if you're a manga reader, you already know how these characters and their backstories end and what happens. We'll see, though. Zeke is going to die by Levi, though. I just hope he gets some more shine before it comes. And the last one, Eren. We finally got to see what he doesn't want. Last episode, he said he would never support a plan like that. The sterilizing of the Eldians and them being no more. So at least we got that. We know he doesn't want that. But again, I've been saying this for the last season and a half. They've been, as a viewer, they've been cutting Eren off to us as a viewer. And I think it's great because it just builds up the speculation of like, what the hell does he really want? Like, he's just going along. He's doing things. But is it safe to say like the actions that he did on Marley, like those were him, correct? Like him just going in there, fucking shit up, basically having the world point all their guns at you. That was on him. So what did he want to gain out of that? I still don't even 100% know. What does he want now? Does he want to execute the Rumble and just have Eldians be the world superpower, and if you guys want to live, you'll answer to us. If not, we'll just kill you? Like he said at the end of Season 3? If we go across there and kill all our enemies, will we then be free? And he always talking about, like, I was born into this world. I have to fight on. I'm not going to be caged. What does it really mean to be free? First it was like, if we just get outside the walls, we're free. They weren't. Then, you know, the end of season 3, when he's pointing across, looking back, he's like, if we kill everybody over there, are we free then? I got to keep marching on. I got to keep fighting. I was born into the world. Like, you know, they say all these things and all these callbacks, but we don't, what's the end goal? There has to be, like, you can keep fighting and just keep killing and killing. But again, like, is that your goal? Just kill till there's nothing left to kill, then you can live in peace? What's the solution, though? What's the actual solution? Because when the world comes over, I don't know, like, if they can really... I mean, they do have the rumbling, but some of those Titan cannons are pretty damn serious. I mean, that if you just had 100 of them lined up, like, on the walls of the shore as the rumbling is coming, they could put down some damn Titans. I just don't think... I don't know. But we don't... I can't even hint at what he wants. Does he want to rescue all the Eldians from the Marley continent and bring them to the island and just have all just seclude the, like, we live over here, the world lives over here, and we're just gonna keep it that way? You know, no more waging wars. Titans won't be used to fight anymore. All the Titans will stay over here. They'll be transferred, and if you guys ever go back on that, we will trample. We will rumble. We have foundings over, you know, here. We have royal blood. If it has to come to it, we will, you know, rumble. And does he just want to keep it separate like that and not have any more? Does he just want to murder everything on the continent and rule with an iron fist? Does he want to sit down at a table? Like, I think he lost the power of, like, negotiation when he slaughtered world powers. So it's really going to come down to, like, I don't know. I have no idea what that man wants. Does he just want there to be no more Titan? Like, we're Eldians, yes, but just no more Titans. Does he want to just scoop up all the Titans within one uniform body and just make a wish to Ymir to get rid of these, to take them? No more Titans. I don't know. If he just wants to rule with an iron fist, seclude the Eldians in just one place, get rid of all Titan possibility. He's not going to live forever either. So how do we even... It's wild. It's wild. I really do not know what he wants or what his plan is. Then I'm curious, like, is he actually dead? Or is his consciousness just here and going to stay here? Because I don't think he transferred... And then that's another thing, too, is, like... We've seen Reiner talk about it before. He's like, oh, if I didn't transfer my consciousness to my head quick enough, I would have really died there. Did Eren even have that time before that sniper slug took his head off to even transfer what he needed to, like, have the ability to sprout back? Have we ever seen a Titan shifter get their head taken off like that and actually, like, regenerate? I don't think we have. Not clean off. We've seen Reiner get stabbed and then transform, but never in their pure human form. So I don't even know if he can come back alive. I have absolutely no idea what his actual physical state is, or his subconscious. Probably the biggest things I'd want to see, some dedicated Truth Ymir episodes, and then some dedicated of, like, what has Eren really thought or wanted all this time? What is it that he's truly... What did he think of when he was just going crazy, murdering kids and people? What did he think of when he was meeting with Zeke, knowing that's not what he wanted to do? What is it that he wants? And that's really going to be the main question of the rest of the season, is what he wants. And then kind of just the future of the Titans, future of the Eldians, and just the future of the world, which is kind of all essentially going to come down to what Eren decides to do. Like, is this just going to be a country of Eldians and we're just going to keep it that way? You know, we'll trade with you, we'll do things, but what's been happening the last couple of years can't happen, so we're going to stay over here? Do we want to... And the world just has such a bad stigma on Eldians that, like, you can't integrate them in the rest of the world. I just don't know how they can live together, especially after what Eren did. Are there going to be actual Titan shifters left in the Attack on Titan world when this is over? I don't know. And then just the future of the world in general. Again, like, they even hinted at, you know, technology's passing the Titans by. Just because you have Titans doesn't mean you can be just the superpower anymore. I think the easiest solution would just be to get rid of the Titans. Like the actual Titans. Like keep the Eldians, but just get rid of them. I think that would be the easiest solution. Because then it's like you can't hate us anymore. But I guess they still could. I don't know. That's going to be wild to see. And then I guess a final question, or... is this already been predestined with Eren? Like, was he meant to be this at this point? I'm so curious because we always get like the 2U or 4U 200 years in the future or the past or whatever. And we saw him kind of like connecting, but again, I don't know if that was just a connecting memory. No, that's the big part. When Kruger mentions Mikasa and Armin, it makes me think that past is linked with present is linked with future, which makes me think it's already been written or predestined. Predestined and written by who though? Just the universe or the paths or the coordinate? I have no idea, which makes me think like, does somebody already know does Ymir already have an idea of how this is going to play out? Did she know originally? Has she known since she's been in this coordinate thing? But like Kruger making that distinction between like mentioning Armin and Mikasa when he has no Armin and Mikasa in his world, but one of the people that got his attack titan does have an Armin and Mikasa in his world. It'd be different if Kruger had it and then Eren said Armin and Mikasa. It's like, what? Oh, he's just getting past memory flashbacks. But it was the other way around. The past mentioned something that happened in the future. So something is like linked and connected, which makes me think, was it always destined to be Eren that changes whatever this is going to be? You know, was all of this linked, dotted up, you know, he who remains type thing? I don't know. A lot of it is going to really come down to coordinate pathways, Ymir finding all that future, past, what really happened stuff, predestination, and then it's going to come down to Eren. I feel like everybody else is just along for the ride. Ymir can hit us with information, and then Eren is going to be making the decisions, but again, is it his choice to make, or is choice just an illusion? Or is it like the Oracle says, like, you've already made the choice, you just have to understand why you made the choice. If it's already predestined and everything, not us, I don't know, but Eren has already made the choice. Now we just have to understand, like, why he made the choice. I don't know. There's a lot there, and I feel like we haven't had this much theory crafting, really thinking, until looking back, when we didn't know what the hell was outside the walls. I feel like that's the last time we've been really thinking about this, or like, oh my god, who's that Titan? You know, so there's just a lot. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're creeping up on the hour. I know people won't watch past like the first couple minutes, but there's a lot there. Again, if you're anime only, feel free to go back and forth in the comments. That's it. And if you're a manga and you want to discuss some of these talking points further, we can. Just don't hint at any direction or steer or any direction or nudge towards any answers. We'll just keep it like that and go from there. Any interaction you can give on the video is always appreciated. Any likes or comments is always amazing, always great. You know, we're battling with this YouTube system thing. But Attack on Titan, yeah, I called it my favorite a season ago in Season 3. And Season 4 has not made me falter on that. If anything, it's made me even more confident in that decision. So we'll leave it there. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. We haven't had one of these type of videos in a long-ass time. Hopefully we can get some nice comments going back and forth, and we'll leave it there. I appreciate it, guys. Like, share, favorite, subscribe, as always.